All right, time for the finale of Selection Project. This is number, yeah, it's episode 13. So 13 episodes in total. So yeah, this is finally over, and I know I'm probably in a minority for this. Well, I don't know if I want to say minority. It's just that I heard this criticism about the show, like me. So Nick, contact Mad Lad for a second. I think I know he already put up his reaction, or I actually just saw his episode about now. There's a lot. There's kind of a number of things I want to say about this show, and some of the weird criticism that I've seem to have that is relatable, is understandable. Well, okay, not really. It was more like it's understandable. It makes sense. I know what they mean, but for some reason, for multiple reasons, like I legitimately did not care. Um, I legitimately think there's a little bit too overblown to say like it's bad because it's legit blatantly copying or something. I don't know if that's really copying, because if it really was straight up copying, then I would have already noted that. Like the only thing that really stood out to me with in terms of like the similarities was the whole heart transplant thing. And to be frank, I like there was a lot of things that Idoly Pride was doing that I didn't like. Where the post selection project was another thing. I cannot say Idoly Pride is necessarily better either. And to be fair, like it wasn't like I had any particularly strong feelings, against Idoly Pride. It was just I didn't find it memorable. I didn't find or I didn't find much of the characters memorable. Like I'll just hear like, well, the thing is, like it isn't much to remember. Like I thought, like the thing is that I should have liked it. I should have, because because at the time I was watching Idoly Pride, I was not caring. I did not care much for the I did not I like I should be like not so dragged out with the story wise, because like you know how like with most seasons, like you just kind of just following it up, and sometimes binging it, like it turns out better. When I was thinking about it, like at the time I wasn't trying to be really like I wasn't trying to be harsh with it at the time, but in retrospect I'm just like I don't know. I wasn't feeling too any of these characters. Like these okay. I'm just gonna be honest right now. Look, I'm looking at Idoly Pride group, and I'm just gonna be honest. I don't remember any of these any of these characters. I legitimately don't. I only remember that there was some ghost thing going on, and it was just a pain in the ass to have to continue dealing with. I think what was this? What was the girl? Yeah. It like there isn't really much I remember from it, but I mean, if I like if I remember correctly, the premises is at least the premises thing is actually initially pretty similar. Um, um, I could be, okay, so I could be just thinking about the wrong one, but there was like a lot of things that stood out to me that like I just wasn't really that caring about the characters, because they didn't have a particular focus as to where I wanted where I wanted to hear like it's just kind of like a lot of the off stuff was like on the producer, and they had this focus on like, you know, he had someone in the past, he's just talking to ghosts, and I'm just like, what is going on with that? What is going on with this dynamic? We did not need that. Like, I didn't like the supernatural aspects of it. I'm not saying you need a little bit of a hallucination here and there, but I feel like it just took me out of it. And when I really think about it, I do not think it's really fair to make that sort of comparison in the beginning, just because like at some point, like we're just gonna be having these similar ideas anyways. Like, what if like I'm taking a look at this synopsis because that's how bad my memory is. But the thing, okay, I probably like we start off. We're talking about the initial focus was on on Amana's previous manager, and then she passed away, and then the whole ghost thing came about for some freaking reason. With the selection project, we weren't really taken to a producer's perspective. We kind of just start off with two of the from the perspective of two of the main characters being the actual competitors. And then it got me really thinking, oh, this might not really be an actual elimination competition thing after all. I think selection project really, like, I'm just gonna continue fucking saying this. I never really gave a shit about the whole competition thing, because I know for a fact that there's no way they're just gonna pull them apart that easy. Not when literally, like, the thing that is literally called 9 tie, and you're just gonna tell me, oh, we're just gonna eliminate them off, one, so on and so forth. Oh, just want to stop by and say have a great Christmas Eve and stream. Hey, thanks. Oh yeah, it is Christmas Eve. I almost forgot. It's Christmas Eve. What we freaking do? Like, when days pass by really fast, especially, for me it just stays by pretty fast. Wait, what? Okay, Idoly Pride is also an anime adaptation that is part of the multimedia project under created in collaboration by Cyber Agent Quality Arts, Straight Edge, and Music Rain. It was an anime adaptation. Wow. Oh, we have a video. It's probably like a. So it's kind of like Master. It was something like a video game mixed media shit, sort of like Takopia, I guess. Hey, maybe I might need to check out if they have a game with this one. Who knows? But yeah, I feel like the criticism against that is somewhat justified, and yet also partially unjustified. Like, I think we've in a point where it's okay to make comparisons, but when I think about is it necessarily bad? Like, there has to be the fundamentals as well. And I could be just biased with it. The story isn't anything amazing. Like, it isn't anything to where it's just groundbreaking stuff. It just clicked with me, and that had to do with mostly the characters. And for me, with an Idol series, I have a really, really weird venture with Idol series. Well, a very inconsistent one, a very mixed one to say the least. Like, I'm at that point where I don't really care, where other than Nijigasaki and the original Idol Masters, I don't really have a particularly strong, positive opinion about Idol anime in general. So there's that. And Zombieland Saga didn't click for me either. Like, I didn't know, I wasn't really into those sort of characters. I mean, I don't hate it, but it's just like I don't know. But yeah, it's mixed. Like I get if people have a problem with this being, you know, not liking the show, but I'm not so sure if I really can agree with the whole thing of like, oh, it's bad because it's a carbon copy. I don't think it really like I don't think it's really to where like yeah did it take a little bit of Idoly Pride's homework? Yeah. Did it is it necessarily a word for word thing? No. No, like from the like unless if you were just watching this through you know, unless you were watching it through squinted eyes, not really. Like uh okay, for one sake, was this thing focusing on the producer or was it focusing on? Because if I remember correctly, like they didn't really like I probably like there was a change of the focus to where with the characters, and this both stories are just kind of about the same in terms of the writing level, like you know, more or less. You know, but again, Ali Pie wasn't something I found memorable. It just felt like it just felt whole hum. In all honesty, like you already got them. It like okay, so the Ali Pride thing was more like oh, like you just get a live audience, whereas to Selection Project it sort of feels like a reality show sort of thing, in my opinion. At least that's how I remember it. Love Life Superstar. I don't know. I really, yeah, I don't have a particularly good opinion about Love Live Superstar. It just felt run of the mill. It just didn't stand like that one just didn't stand out. Like the character just didn't stand out for me. The story didn't stand out for me. The production value looked nice, but other than that, it wasn't there. For Selection Project, it's not. I won't say it's the most amazing thing in the world. It's just pretty solid. It's decent. You know, it's decent at worst. It's just like I think people just don't have a particular there's a particular thing in terms of sort of pickings with Idol series, and for me, it's just again, it's just more the characters. You know, it's just how like they gels with me or doesn't gel. Like if it doesn't gel with me, I won't like it. If it gels with me, I will kind of enjoy it. Not necessarily think it's good, but there's something to it. So yeah. Like I remember when I had Ali Pride at like 5 out of 10 because like I at the time I was trying to maintain my average mean score, but then when I really think about it, I'm just like it wasn't worth it. It wasn't worth it. Yeah, don't get me wrong. Superstar, you know, Love Life songs are pretty good for the most part. Like don't get me wrong. Like I have my mixed feelings with Love Live. Like, Nijigatsuki was a bright spot. Although in retrospect, I really need to see if second season can follow up on some. It's good. When is the Nijigatsuki's second season gonna come around? Like, I think it's of course not this season, this next season, but like spring, summer. I don't remember. Hold on. It's coming in April, spring. Okay, cool. That is actually something before. So yeah, it's in spring, and I'll try to make sure I'm onto that. I do love me some music idol shows. I could be wrong, but I wish some got romances or something like that. Yeah, I can agree where it is, but we can't have it with the producer, you know, in Idoly Pride because he's against the producer in relationship, and the one in question is dead. Was dead, and like, oh okay, we just gonna go out like that. Like, I don't think idol themed shows can have romances in them. Like I would think, but not so much inherently idol shows. Like you can argue about like, oh, there's some like gay baiting him, like queer coding in it, but not really so much of a straight up romance. Like I don't think it's gonna. I don't think they'll ever reach that far. It couldn't be interrupting with it though. Like it would sound nice on paper, but it would be so sloppy in execution. Like I can't see that working out too well. But I mean, it would be nice to have some sort of signs of intimacy between the some nice sorts of intimacy between characters, like how they struggle through stuff, how they develop their interpersonal relationships and all that. I'm looking too deep into this, but that's how I just kind of go off with it. But yeah, so I do not think so. They're not killing Susan off. Like they won't go that dark. I mean, some way somehow, like her body will just adjust. Will just probably adjust to it, and it will be fine. I mean, I don't think this is something to where. I don't think it's like to where like I could see it coming, but I don't think it'll be like an asshole. It's just that they're not gonna go that tragic. Oh, they're not gonna pull some sort of you know like ridiculous like ghost thing. Like I would have to think the Akari Suzune is seeing seeing in her dream right now is herself. Like it's not actually Akari's ghost. It's more like, oh, like it's probably her own hallucination and all that. Like because when you dream, right, you tend to have people talk to you, people you see like kind of talk to you and say some strange stuff that maybe that's not what they would necessarily say to you, but that's just how you imagine they would say to you. That's hard to explain because dreams are weird for the most part. But yeah, so I think this pre-episode, pre-reaction discussion has gone a little too far. Let's get to the episode. So I am just going to say that I'm kind of gonna miss this. Like I'm not gonna say like I'm gonna be in a lot as much pain as when as I am with Mushoku Tensei, but this is kind of keeping me. This selection process is keeping me afloat. I mean, I know Senpai is annoying, does that as well, but I can't react to it because it's on the same day that 86 airs, so it's just kind of unlucky. But yeah, so let's get to it. Episode 13, final episode. Let's get going. Did I check the? Oh yeah, I did. Okay, never mind. I just realized I did not set these settings right. Okay, we're good. Alright. Starting again. 3, 2, 1, let's jam. Oh, they're starting right away. It'll be fine. She's speaking like that. She's referring to her as Akarin, but it's also Susan as well. Because she is still has a part of Akarin in her. That's why she's dressed it like that. That's you. Are you sure? Why does this feel like Susan's just talking to a version of herself in the form of Akari? I'm just tripping. I'm probably just tripping. I'm probably just overshooting shit, but it just feels like a conversation with herself. Because that's how dreams kind of usually turn out to be. It's all good. Just got this father word, man. Dude, who doesn't like strawberries, man? If anyone here hates strawberries, you are not my friend. I'm not saying slather strawberry on chicken, but actually that might work out. Hmm. Do we have this sort of moving speech in Idoly Pride? I don't quite remember. But I wasn't like I'm not. Don't get me wrong. I think Idoly Pride has its good point. Has its pretty high points. Just not the ones that I found resonate with me, or even remotely. Oh yeah, you're apologizing about the whole part with Oh, they reached 1 million. Still like another million ago. I would just literally make a bunch of alt accounts just to fucking send them. Please clear the stage. Oh, nice. Don't do no performance. You know how clean? That's how clean the. You know how clean the CG design looks. That's actually really impressive. It doesn't feel wonky either. It doesn't like nothing feels like oh it's necessarily choppy. Like I like when CG is like that. Like that's actually good CG. Because the problem I usually have with them is like they're usually like dead and lifeless. The eyes are the same, look the same every fucking time. The expressions look the same every fucking time. Like those are the usual issues I have with 3D models. Also, like again, really nice camera direction too. Although I could say that for nearly all of the performances here in in the series. Nice. Oh, they're gonna get together for a group performance, aren't they? Please tell me they're gonna get together for a group performance. Yes, they are. They are. No, they need more. Fucking alt account. Unlimited altworks. Why did I not notice that the hamster clock? That's creepy. Like, no, we're not leaving overnight. We don't. This isn't a graveyard shift. Oh wait, I forget. Like they're not really staying in a hotel. They still have to fucking commute back to forth. I forgot. Is this karaoke? Oh my god. I I look at this and I just remember like when I used to go on vacation in New York where I used to where I was born in, like we went, I think it was during Christmas, we went out and like the whole fucking front yard was I think it was my grandma's house, like the whole fucking backyard was just a layer of snow. We were just trying to shovel that shit out. Not to that extent, but still. It's nice. Yeah, we're just kind of just seeing them, having their own little chill time with their, family and friends before they head back for the final performance. To get the extra, the extra 1 mil. Don't stress it. Don't stress it. Bro, what's with the? Oh man, get some lotion. Get get loose certified hair lotion. Courtesy sponsored by Maha Productions. Why she look like the mom of the sign? Oh, congratulations, your own family, or you're also your biggest fans. Yeah, she did mention that. It's like, oh my god, wait. No. What? That is sweet. They're actually going pro. That's actually cool. That's actually lit. That now but that gives me the vain wishes of like, oh, can there be another season? Like, I don't care if it's under a different title, but some way somehow. But then again, it may not necessarily need a season two. I didn't see Ali probably set that up. I'm sorry if I'm mentioning Ali Pride multiple times, but I'm just like, because people are just gonna keep doing it, so it makes sense. Like, I should be just bringing that up as well. Oh yeah, oh yeah, this is sister kind of talking. So in a way, Rena can also stand up there with her sister as well, her late sister, because this time she actually deserved it. Oh, let's see how this turns out. They're singing the opening. You know, I was hoping for an original song, but it's okay. That was really nice. It didn't stood out. It didn't stand out to me. Like, I still prefer the 2D choreographed dancing. You know, in the previous episode, they reached it. Hey, you know, just find a bit. Like, I hope they can get launch it up. You know, I hope they can really launch it off as professional. That's it. Damn. Damn. There's it. That's it. Oh man, like come on, that can't be it. Please tell me there's post credits. There's no post credits. Fuck. Well, the thing that just sucked for me was just that that's it. Oh, the last part, like they were all like showing their face, you know, showing their they were all showing the you know, showing the girls there because it's usually different. It kind of switches up, you know, every other episode. I'm mad. No end credits, no teasing for anything else. That's just how it ends. You know, okay, so it never really confirms like are they gonna go professional as a group with that because isn't really there wasn't a confirmation if like oh is it are they just gonna go through it all the way? Is Selection Project finally just gonna be like a whole company? You know, now that they've seemingly accomplished their goal, they just make a because Selection Project isn't some like oh we just turn out a season after season after season with just no actual goal in mind. Because I think it's where they were trying to aim for like okay, so if I remember correctly, there's like 7 seasons of Selection Project. They're you know they're sort of they're like that's their sort of the reality. I don't like to say it in a reality show, but it's kind of like in a way is to where like they had multiple seasons, and I'm just wondering I was just wondering like were they trying to get a group of sorts, not just individual, not just have the winner be like have their individual solo careers? Because I don't think they ever indicated as that. That's where I feel like maybe the story could have elaborated better on. The Venus program did not tell it that much better either. You know, the Venus program in Ali Pride didn't tell it that much better either. I don't know. Next month I'm next month I'm waiting for season 2. I'm well, I don't like Arthur. Like I hate Arthur sadly. But I mean I can see people liking it because you know it's kind of the enjoyable trash, and I don't have anything against those people who do enjoy Arthur. Like that's just kind is a preference deal in my opinion, and I'm not gonna again nothing against that. But yeah, so while I'm just clicking through, I'm gonna say this right now that some of the criticism for this series was justified and some of it is not. Like I was watching that part and I'm thinking maybe the episode itself, maybe the series itself is a missed out on some opportunities, but in the end I don't feel like it was a waste. Like I don't think I don't think like anything in terms of character wise was wasted. Like I think in terms of story, that's where I think that is where you can point the faults at. But I wouldn't say comparison. Say oh it's a blatant copy of this and this and that. Like that's kind of That's kind of ignorant, because you can literally, because you can just, because like because one time I was just saying like that's not really fair to copy when they're used, when nowadays similar shows with the same genre are using the same similar premises, and then people are just like, and this one guy was just like, oh, but they carbon copied blah blah blah. Like he went in too much detail, where I'm just like, so you're just telling me that Selection Project has no value because it's ripping off, just because it's ripping off something? Like, it still would work if there's execution. Like, sure, you can get tired of generic stuff, but it depends on how everything else pans out. Like, does the story gel with you? Does the characters gel with you? Does the general just emotions of the story just gel with you? For me, it did. Like, it's not perfect. Like, it's not something I give 8 or higher. I mean, it's around 6 or 7. But like, light 7, well, I wouldn't say light 7. It's just kind of like, it's a strong 7 or like a very high 6. I just like, yeah, I probably rate this one like a 7.5 out of 10, and that says a lot. Because, like, will it lower over time? Maybe, but that would just come with, whether or not this ages well for me, like whether or not this is going to be memorable for me. It's already more memorable than Idoly Pride for sure. Like, I don't, like, I'm just gonna keep saying this again and again. I don't remember shit from Idoly Pride. Like, okay, so like, I don't remember all the shit from Idoly Pride, because it just never did anything that really resonated. Like, I felt like, oh, I'm impressed by it. It's just whatever. I've already mentioned during the pre-reaction, like, what did not click for me with Idoly Pride, and like when it did have the good was trying to get to the good aspects, like, oh, there's a program doing, trying to help bring up idols and stuff. Like that I just get sidetracked. Like that did not, like, it did. I did not really care much about it when you have this whole freaking this ghost thing. I keep getting this ghost thing just was in the way, and it made it to a point where it felt like a romance sort of thing. But it's kind of like, oh, it's not possible because the main girl is dead. But yeah, I would just give this like 7 out of 10, 6 out of 10. Like, 7 out of 10 for now. I mean, I don't know about later on, but yeah, it's not bad. This is by no means bad. I like can really say I enjoyed it. I think there was enough positives there to where I can say my score for was justified. That says a lot, because again, my thoughts on the idol genre have been mixed in general. Like, people are just confused, like, why don't I like Zombieland Saga? The characters just didn't gel with me. The stories don't gel with me. Like, I remember back then, like, even when I was like very how do you say this, very generous with my scores. I didn't have Zombieland Saga that high, like, and it wasn't because at the time I wasn't that familiar with Idols, a series. It's just more like that was the characters and story just wasn't my thing. It felt so much, it tried too hard to be a parody and just didn't click with me as a parody, as a good series in general. That's just my personal opinion on it. For me, I'd rate out of 10. It's another parody series from Idoly Pride anime. But I mean, that's fair. I wouldn't call it a parody series from Idoly Pride though, because Idoly Pride is just, I don't know. It's forgettable. Like, I don't know if I want to rewatch that series in all honesty, to know, like, remember anything, as get a reason as to why people are saying this is a rip-off, like blah 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 blah. That's not worth my time. Like, I will get, like, Maybe I'll go back, find some scenes and go back to it, but that's about it. Like, that's a show that I'd rather not revisit. I would revisit this one for sure if I had, you know, one day. But yeah, it's decent at the worst. Like, I won't say, like, it's just saying it's bad just because it's a carbon copy, it's a parody, whatever the fuck you call it. That's not good. Like, you have, like, that, you know, then you'd be calling, then you'd literally be calling every isekai guy that got released after 2014 a parody of ReZero and Mushoku Tensei. Like, what the fuck is going, like, what the fuck is up with that? Or like a parody of Tensei. So like, it's something like that. It's not fair, honestly. That, because like, they can be good, they can be decent on their own. I don't necessarily need to like most of them, but it's just like, it just is what it is. So yeah, nothing. So yeah, like, I can get it, but I'm just like, it's a little bit overblown with the comparison. Like, we gotta remember, like, we can't, nothing is gonna be no, there's gonna be totally, there's gonna be some inspiration here and there. There's going to be something we can call a carbon copy, but I think, like, as long as it has everything else done right, as long as it has like the basic stuff, you know, some stuff nailed down right. Like, don't get me wrong, there's some issues I do have with the story of this show, but it's more of like, oh, I wish it could have done more with this and this and that. You know, instead of like, oh, they fucked up on this and that. This is more like what they didn't do. But again, that's kind of just my take on it. I mean, I really like the characters. I think that's just a given. Like, I'm not gonna say they're like favorites, but they're just more like ones I feel like they can. Your personalities just really gel with me. They're nothing particularly groundbreaking or anything. They're just very likable, at least for me. Like, I have, like, there's not one personality in them that just turned me off and or whatnot. Like, so for me, when it comes to our shows, the characters can usually have to really stand out for me in order for me to give a shit. Story matters too, don't get me wrong. We don't want a crash burn like with Sunshine. With Love Live Sunshine. Like, I don't want to talk about how disappointing that was for a Love Live series. The scene where Zumi Panda announced the rules selection project competition is a 100% parody of Idoly Pride. Yeah, okay. It is a parody, but I wouldn't say it's like a carbon copy or anything. Like, I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing. You know, it's just a similar. I think it's just a similar just a similar premise. Like, okay, what happens if you if they make another show that has a similar idol competition sort of aspect? Or they're just gonna call it an Idoly Pride carbon copy as well, just right off the bat? Likely. Even if they execute everything else right, still likely. Yeah. That's just how it is. I mean, I'm not like, if any, like, I'm not here to really try to change people's mind about the series, because again, the idol series, the idol genre in general is not a very easy series to. Idol series are not really easy to recommend in general because of how, like, the demographic works. I'm sure these were great. Chivalry, Peace, Snafu, Bleach, X-Arm Overlord, Single Yesterday. And then there are shows like X-Arm Overlord, Single Yesterday, Test Note, My Hero Academia, Oh yeah. Okay. My Hero Academia can be considered a. Okay, for example, My Hero Academia can be called a parody of DC Marvel, like based on the logic I'm getting from from the from the from like the copy. Like, oh, okay, so if this is a carbon copy of Idoly Pride, then My Hero Academia is a carbon copy of DC animated DC animated and Marvel. But that's not the reason why My Hero Academia has issues. Don't get me wrong here. Like, the premises for My Hero Academia are initially really good. They initially are really interesting. It's fun. It starts out really fun, clumsy but fun. But then at some point it starts to break down fundamentally. That is where you can point the criticism to, guys. Okay. And okay, do I think the Alley Pride am I saying the it's not okay to like Alley Pride? No, no. Like, if you still like this Alley Pride more than Selection Project, that's fine. That's fine by me. Like, I have nothing against it. I just don't like the whole. I just don't like how the series itself is just being talked down. Oh, just because it's like a copy. Like, I know I'm usually someone that would just ramble about carbon copies, but this is one to where, like, because it clicked on for me personally. Like, I cannot find much to criticize for it, and especially when the very thing it is being compared to is something that I just don't have a particular opinion, a really good stances on. It's just like I'm just gonna be honest with you. I don't really like the original Gundam, but then there would be like stuff. I would still be justified to like or enjoy stuff more, like other series more that are considered carbon copies of Gundam, but because the stuff they do clicks better for me. Like, oh, like, I feel like there's a better sense of storytelling or handling of the characters for me in general. Like, anything like that. And like saying so there's a time where you can say uh like carbon being a carbon copy of something holds back. I hate to say it's like a clone of it holds it back, but then there's just like, does it, okay, but did it nail shit right? And it's subjective. It is subjective. So yeah, the ending could be better. I will say that. I think I do think it is well. I think they kind of just wrapped it up. They wrapped it up pretty well. I think it could have done it a little better. At least in terms of the emotions there. But I think they did as much as they can within 13 episodes. Trying to get us trying to get this connected with these characters, like know who they are, what their aspirations are, why they decide to stick together as a group, the whole, and like why they decide to rebel against, like, they stick together, like, regardless of, like, oh, it's supposed to be an elimination thing, because again, like, and like they did get disqualified for it because of that, like, oh, there's only supposed to be 7 of you, not supposed to be all 9 of you remaining for this one, and they disobeyed it. They initially disqualified for it. They tried on their own. They got called back because the CEO just realized that these girls are just gonna continue to stick together. They've been through that much, huh? Okay, sorry. There is a There's just something there. Okay, there is a weird. I don't know who's spamming on that, but please cut it out. It's like calling Nazo Tanzai a parody of the Arthurian old tales. I mean, Nazo Tanzai can be considered a parody of that, but that's not how you're supposed to judge it. You can't do that's not the way you're supposed to judge that series in all fairness. Although it does kind of depend on your familiarity to those old tales, though. What else to say? Another thing, like, for the most part, they actually handled the performances very well. The CGI was actually handled real well. When they do rock out with 2D dancing performances, they look really good. Like part of me did wish that the final performances was them in 2D, performing, but it was like it was kind of short, so it's not like I have anything against it. Because at times the CGI, like, because of how they handle it, it can look as good, almost just as good as usual 2D choreography. We're not gonna be here to talk about Inuyasha. Please no. Please no. Like okay, Inuyasha is bad. Even my sister dropped it, and she would usually like a show like that. That goes to show how badly Inuyasha aged. I'm serious. And apparently my brother actually kind of likes Inuyasha because it's a classic. My brother's way, like, according to my sister, like, my younger brother's more into the classics right now, and that's troubling because he be talking Dragon Ball all day, and I'm just like I literally hear him and just, like, from the other side of the room, just like, oh, please stop. Nothing against that though, but I gotta get my brother into more, update modern anime again. I really do. Otherwise, I would hear him just talk about old shows that I don't really like, and I'm just like, I don't think, and I would just get personally annoyed. The CGI in animes can look good sometimes, but they can also look bad. There's Selection Project. There's also Nijigasaki. Like, I'm not concluding the ones in Orange because Orange usually knock them out pretty well with the given time. There's 86. 86's CG, CG designs is actually really good, and they use it very well. Like, I've never seen such great detail on, I've never seen such great details on mechs like that, and like on several different designs as well. For the Legion, for the Juggernauts, like, there's a lot of attention to detail. Like, not perfect, but it's just like, it's such a crisp looking product, in my opinion. And the way they also depict the CGI effects, depict how harsh the battlefield looks. So when you got the right team, you can make even stuff like CG look good. Not the literal horse shit that you got in Isekai Assassin. Sadly, like, if the big thing that just bothered me so much about that show was the CG horse carts. Like, come on, man, y'all gotta get some better shit than that. Like, I don't think it's that hard to animate, to 2D animate a fucking horse cart. What the hell is this? Sorry, there's like a spammer right now. I am just trying to. I just saw it and I'm just like, what was that? You didn't, like, whoever this is, just please stop it. Isn't second a psycho reaction anime in episode 12? I didn't react to episode 12, the final episode. Cause like I was just kind of out of it at that point, and there was also the Mushoku Tensei hangover, and I was just like, I don't want to react to this one. That's just how it is. I wasn't feeling it. Is there anything else I need to say? It's nice seeing, like, again, I would have loved an epilogue or credit scenes or such, to see like what they do afterwards. It would be really nice. It genuinely would. But I'm okay with what we got. Like, I just wish there could have been more. I generally do. But that's not like I'm not completely disappointed at all. Like, I'm happy with what I got. Is there anything else to note here? The bot, sadly, we can do only a few stuff. Okay, yeah. No, don't worry. Like, I'm back to doing this, but it's just like, like, I don't think there's much else to say, honestly. Like, I've already just kind of broken down why I do like this series, why I don't feel like I'm in some, like, I have some sort of bad I don't have any double standards with it. Like, I think I did explain as much as I can as to why, like, this gelled with me, but Idoly Pride did not. Like, an original work is not always better than the stuff that is inspired by it or copies off of it. Because, like, oh, we will just take this and do it and switch it up a little bit for our own thing to make it look better. Like, is it necessarily plagiarism? No. They did not do a one for one. They didn't really do a one for one deal. Like, they literally did not do that. Because if they literally did, we would see, like, the same shit. We would literally see the same kind of shit in Idoly Pride with different faces. Mushoku is a Sekai where there's no CG on the characters and stuff where usually other Sekai do. The only CG they did was, like, at one point for the horse in part 1. And then, like, they only did, like, the stuff on the Hitogami guy to make him look mystical. They just kind of shrouded him a lot. They just kind of misted him up too, so the CG didn't stick out. It's just to make him look fucking mysterious, suspicious. That's the intent of Mushoku, of putting it that way. So yeah, that's where CG can be used well without needing glossy looking designs. I wish there was more. I wish this series had more 2D dancing performances though. Like, that being said, because anyone who've watched, I don't know if Kirya knows in here has Kirya, like, aren't you supposed to be hunting down my guy and his group? But yeah, like, if you haven't seen Idol Masters, it's such a great. I think it's like the gold standard for me in terms of idols, because not only does it embrace the thing with idol, it goes down to the business of it without having it too convoluted. It makes you enjoy the characters and their their regular shenanigans, but they can also get you into very heartfelt segments, especially the one with Chihaya. That was really, that shit was good. And also with Haruka as well. Like, I don't want to spoil, but it was Idol Master was some dope, or OG Idol Master was some dope shit. I don't have anything to say about Cinderella. Cinderella Ghost was disappointing though. I don't have anything to say about Side M. That's a boys idol thing. I don't know if I want to touch that yet. I mean, okay, Nick. Okay. To be fair, Wonder Egg Priority's ideas weren't original. a lot of that shit looked like it was ripped off of Madoka Magica. A lot of it looked like it was ripping off of Flip Flappers. And it just didn't turn out well. Like, I sensed from the start with Wonder Egg Priority, like, sure, animation wise it's passion, but story wise, not really. And then when the animation quality itself fell, and when the production itself physically started falling apart, like the special was literally just a chopped up, put together slogfest that just like there was literally at one point where how there was like a line to where you see like where the screen ends. You see one of them is raised because they didn't edit it that properly. That's how bad that one went. But besides my point, not all original ideas are gonna work. Okay, bad statement. Not all shows when they're with an original premise, like not all of like the original works with the like prototype ideas, like Gundam. Like you can't say it's superior to every one of the success of its other mecha success. You can't say that. You can't say that. And the day I became a god, like anime originals are just hit and miss. As for anime originals, like animes that don't have a prior source material, they're usually hit and miss, because with adaptations you at least have a script to work with, so you can really get stuff produced and going, because you already have something to look at for reference. But with anime originals, that's much harder. So when an anime original is really good, that goes to show how much fucking work they put into it. Like it's literally like there's a reason why Madoka Magica really clicked. Like even if the ideas of Madoka Magica seem to be inspired by something, I felt like it clicked so well in terms of the themes, plots, and the characters that I couldn't help but look at it as just like a masterclass anime. Even if the production for it was really just a mess, at the time it was airing. It still looked good. It still looked good. It still looked decent at worst. It's just that like total Meguna sort of thing where they all the like that's literally just Shaft being Shaft. But I still love him for that as well. But yeah, I think I said all I need to say, guys. Again, just to cap it off, this is a decent show. This is coming from me because I'm usually an asshole whose mean score is literally wandering in the low 3.0s. So sorry. That's what happens when you watch a lot of shit. You don't get as much. You don't get as interested with these Hollywood shows. And if would have binging this after it aired affected my score? Maybe, perhaps, but I think I would still have overly positive, overall positive impressions of this anyways, because again, the characters gelled with me, and I know it can be subjective, like some people just don't care about them, but it is there, like it's a double-edged sword. Yeah, you got that right. As for this, like I think it's good as it is. It's a mixed media apparently, so it's not like a completely an anime original. So maybe we'll see more of this, more from this series, at least in some form or another later down the stretch. Like I don't know how it's gonna turn out. I would hope for maybe a spin-off, continuation, some sort of live performance. Okay, live performance, that's a given. It's an idol show. Some sort of game, or I don't know. I know merchandise is gonna sell like hotcakes, depending on how, perhaps. But yeah. But like, if there is anything else more with this series in the future, I will at least look forward to it. You know, hopefully, like if I still remember by then, because again, like I don't know how occupied I would be with some other shows out there. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Smash the like button. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Follow me on other social media platforms that I use. You can also join the Discord server. But that will do it for Selection Project. And that will do it for this edition of Anime Reactions. This is Beer Station signing off, guys. See you next time. Take care. Stay safe.